What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty, aka Downforce. Welcome to the Race Asylum channel. In this video I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about driving the Group 1 LMP1 style hybrid cars. This is going to apply to the Toyota TS050, the Porsche 919 hybrid, and also the Audi R18 hybrid, the 2016 model. These cars can be a little challenging to drive, and it comes down to the way they deliver the hybrid technology. Now, the first thing to understand is what actually happens, and you'll understand why the car drives in a kind of a weird way. So these are rear wheel drive cars. The internal combustion engine drives the rear wheels of the car, but the hybrid of the car drives the front wheels. So whenever you're below 150 miles an hour and you have enough hybrid power available to you, the front wheels will drive with the electric motor. They'll use the hybrid. So that's why you get the feeling of, like, in first gear, second gear, maybe third gear, coming out of some of the slower speed corners, the car just instantly wants to understeer. Now, of the three cars, the Audi R18 is the worst for this. The power of the hybrid motors is insane. It just gives you ultimate understeer. The Porsche 919 hybrid is a bit of a middle ground, but the Toyota TS050 is probably the most normal of the three hybrid cars to drive. In this video, I'm going to be focused on driving the Porsche 919, but a lot of the techniques in this video will be transferable to all three of the modern hybrid LMP1 cars. For the hybrid to deploy, when you get on the throttle, it has to go through a certain criteria. So you need to be below 150 miles an hour. Above that speed, the hybrid doesn't work. You also have to have your steering around neutral, maybe 10-15 degrees within center line of your steering, and that's when the hybrid kicks in. So that's why these cars can be completely a mystery to drive. You can be exiting a hairpin corner with a bit of lock on, get on the throttle, and the car will just spin out. You'll lose the rear end of the car. You can do the same corner again, but be within 10% of the center line once you get on the throttle, and then the car will just instantly understeer to the outside of the track because the hybrid has kicked in. It's used some front wheel drive energy, and you've just understeered. So understanding what controls the way the hybrid deploys is a key factor in controlling these cars. So always consider that when you're exiting the corner and you've got a lot of steering lock on, you will have a completely rear wheel drive car. When you're in first gear, second gear, you've got to be careful with the way the car accelerates out the corners. As you've just seen then on screen, we started to bring the steering to neutral. That kicked in the hybrid, and then we just understeered off the track. Let's now take a look at that in more detail. So we're going to get on the brakes into this hairpin. We're going to complete the corner as normal. We're going to start to get on the throttle and watch these 2 points on the screen that I'm going to point out right now. Here we show you the hybrid. When it goes to red, it'll be deploying. And then also check out the center of the screen where we're going to see the steering lock. As I start to remove steering lock with the throttle on, the hybrid will kick in, and then we'll just understeer to the outside of the corner. And there we have it, just instant understeer off the side of the track. We do get away with that time, but that is probably the key thing about driving these LMP1 hybrid cars in Group 1 category. Understanding the way the hybrid deploys will unlock the speed for these cars. So the way you want to drive it is, if you want to get the hybrid to deploy early, square off the exit of the corner, and then allows you to straighten up the steering earlier, and the hybrid deploys sooner. If you want to keep the car in a more sweeping arc, always make sure you've got a good amount of lock on, and that will actually stop the hybrid from deploying. Another trait of these Group 1 hybrid cars is they have incredible downforce. So once you're above kind of 100-ish miles an hour, out of second gear into third gear, you can be very aggressive with the throttle, very aggressive with the brakes, very aggressive with the turning. The car is planted, it's stuck to the road. Don't be afraid of the car's power. Once you're at a higher kind of speed, the downforce takes over, the aero grip comes into play, and you have so much grip, it's very easy to drive. Now, the thing to consider with that is when you're running in dirty air, when you're following a car, you will have a bit of that downforce removed from the car. The car will start to understeer more. So if you're driving in traffic, certainly consider that. Now let me run you through a lap of Suzuka in this Porsche 919 hybrid. I'm not really going to give you a lap guide, I'm going to give you a techniques guide. So into the first corner, you can go in really aggressively. The car is very stable until you get below about 100 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour into second gear. Now with the Porsche specifically, It's got quite short gear ratios and quite a lot of gears, so you're doing a lot of changing through the gears. This section of the track, we're just using the downforce of the car, sweeping through the corners and just basically making the most of the downforce of the car. We do start to gather some dirty air from the car ahead. Again, now Degner 1, going pretty aggressively, and through Degner 2, again, you can turn in quite aggressively. For most of the hybrid cars, you want to run your brake bias more towards the rear, certainly when tyre wear is active. With the hybrid power deployment, it can really destroy the front tyres. We exited that corner much better than we did before in our previous example. We got the car squared off, and once the car was squared off, the hybrid deploys. Through Spoon, first part of Spoon, we can just sweep through there, again, using the downforce of the car. We do get into the dirty air of the car ahead, but that isn't too much of a problem. But yeah, driving these LMP1 cars is all about being cautious when you're in first and second gear, maybe third gear. When you're below 80 miles an hour or so, have a bit of cautious with the throttle and the way the hybrid deploys. Once you're above 100 miles an hour, third gear or so, you can be very aggressive. When you're downshifting, you can go down through the gears very quickly, but I always, like with most cars, make my final downshift for the corner quite late on. And across the line, that's going to get us the fastest lap of the race that we're actually in right now. So that was a pretty okay lap time. Let me know what you've thought of these tips and tricks. Implement them, try them out. Let me know how that works out for you. Hopefully we can get you faster in these Group 1 hybrid cars. It certainly is a frustrating experience initially, but the main thing to take from this is get used to the way the hybrid deploys. And if you don't have any Group 1 hybrid car, you can actually use the GT Sport circuit experience and choose Le Mans. That allows you to drive this Porsche 919 hybrid completely for free. The car is provided for you. You can get some lap times with it, see how you like the car. If you feel like the car is a bit too aggressive with its hybrid deployment, where it understeers on throttle on corner exit, then maybe the Toyota TS050 is probably the car that would be much better for you. If I was to only buy one car in this Group 1 hybrid car class, it would be the Toyota TS050. It is the easiest to drive of the three. Now, the Audi R18 it always has the ultimate lap time. The way the hybrid deploys for that car is incredible. It's so powerful, but the battery barely lasts a lap, and certainly when you're using it in the race. And yes, unless you're doing any hybrid saving technology or hybrid saving techniques, you will be short on hybrid battery by about lap 2 or 3. That may be a future video that we'll have on the Race Asylum YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more, hit that bell icon to notify whenever we go live with a new video or live stream, and you can get involved with the community.